Ladies and gentlemen, the following podcast is scheduled for one fall. Introducing your hosts, Kids at Hart.
Are we marks for jamming out to our own intro before we...
If you could see like the bottom of our screen, it's embarrassing, but also the greatest thing in the world. Hello, everybody. How are you doing today? Thank you. First of all, Dylan, we apologize. We can't talk to you live during the show this week. We miss you, buddy. You know, we hope that you're watching. We hope that you're well. But unfortunately, you know, I mean, here's the thing, is that Chris and I were literally talking about how we're like the busiest people in the world. And, you know, we just have something going on this Friday and probably the next one. So we cannot record today. But hey, we're going through this. We're going to, no cuts. We're just gonna, I've always found it to be funny that like my computer for some reason cannot handle exporting that well right now, and I usually will do the live episode or export the pre-recorded episodes. It's gonna be like 4 hours to export this. I'm like, you know what? So what if they see the ring at the beginning of the episode for 2 seconds? Nobody's gonna complain about that.
That's usually how it goes for our live shows anyway.
Well, right, and I can stop the Stone Cold Steve Austin ending, before we finish. But Chris, how you doing, buddy? How's everything going?
Man, I'm all right. After the Rumble, I guess it's been like a roller coaster of a week, like work and my life. Because like you mentioned, like we're pretty busy guys, so we keep ourselves busy. And I mean, somehow, some way, I found a way to fit some wrestling into there. And like on top of Wrestle Reel, because Wrestle Reel is only, and I tell people this, it's the most fun I have doing a podcast. Like it's not even.
And he has his own that comes out every single week. For Chris's sake, find it on any streaming platform that you can look for.
Yes, for Chris's sake, Chris's CHRIS''SAKE.
Dylan, we know you're here. You better be listening to that afterwards.
And for those who don't know who Dylan is, Dylan came onto the scene last week when we have our live show, and he came out of nowhere. We're like, oh, new, like that's a new face. We haven't seen that person before, and he liked us so much he stuck around for Wrestle Real Talk this past Sunday. Which, by the way, to everyone that joined us for that, thank you.
Yeah,
shout out to Victor Albane. That's one of my homies, and now a homie at the show.
Absolutely.
So
loved Victor. Loved having him on there.
That's my man. We used to watch wrestling all the time at ISU. So now we're out here rocking, and hopefully we can do another one of those relatively soon, because I love doing the live shows, the live react shows. Those are fun. The watch alongs, I should say. So who knows? Maybe if we plan in advance, we'll be able to do like a show like that's on the network, and we can just riff off of it on camera instead of doing it as the commentary.
Absolutely. We love doing it. I don't know. We're both busy. We'll get into a lot of like what happened this week in wrestling, kind of as we're talking about the show today, because all three of our segments really are impacted by this week in wrestling.
Pun intended.
That said, I would be remiss to not say that a friend of the show is no longer with us. WWE has released Lars Sullivan.
Jesus Christ. I thought somebody died. Oh, okay.
So to commemorate that, I would like to show a compilation of my favorite Lars Sullivan moments in WWE. And if I had any of those to show you, I would.
Nick, that's one hell of a way to start the show.
Thank you.
Holy hell. Go on to the first count. Right. So as I mentioned, we did our Wrestle Real Talk this past Sunday, and we watched the 2021 Royal Rumble, brother. And we had a great time watching it for the most part. There's some things that we didn't necessarily like, or we were anxious for most parts to end, whatever way they were. But Nick, I don't think we talked about this overall on the show this past Sunday, or just at all since then. What did you think of the Rumble pay-per-view as a whole? What did you think of it?
Everything sort of... I'll say that almost every single match ended as it should have. McIntyre beat Drew. Roman beat KO in the match of the night.
Yes.
I will say.
Yes.
Listen,
Yes.
I think that the women's match comes in second because that was
Close
that was
second.
one hell of a Royal Rumble match. Sorry, Chris. So like that was one hell of a Royal Rumble match. The men's Royal Rumble match had me on the edge of my damn seat the entire time I was watching it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where I'll give it credit. It was missing a lot of what I expected it to have. It was missing a lot. Frankly, honestly, well, there's a lot of superstars who were missing. There's a lot of stuff just missing in that match. It was very odd. I don't know about you, but with the way that the WWE is going right now, I almost would think that you should expand the men's Royal Rumble to 40.
Oh, wow.
Because of the oversaturation of talent. Because of the NXT superstars. The women's match can stay at 30, and I'm not trying to degrade the women in any way, shape, or form with that. It's just like you could tell that they were that though I think that our girl Reckoning was probably supposed to be the pink-haired girl spot.
Santana Garrett, put some respect on her freaking name.
Sorry.
She's only my favorite wrestler, Nick.
She was at that moment. She was. Unfortunately, Chris's favorite wrestler, Noam Dar, did not show up. But I mean, Carmella, she lost. I expected that. New NXT women, you know how much I want those titles to go over there. New women's tag team champions. Again, I'm not really that surprised. They did it so they could. First of all, they did it because Lacey Evans. But second of all, they did it because like they had a spot during the actual match where they threw each other out. Are we really that surprised? They fight with each other constantly. Then there's the men's Royal Rumble match. And Dylan's our guy. I'm going to keep bringing Dylan up throughout this entire episode, obviously, and probably for the rest of my life. Friend of the show, Dylan, he predicted the Royal Rumble.
Both of them.
Because he had Bianca Belair, which we both unanimously did.
All of us had.
Funny enough, both of our backup picks both of our backup picks had both of our backup picks for the women's match were there. Rhea Ripley. But okay. Before I continue to never shut the hell up. There's a few things that were missing, a few really odd moments. One of the really odd moments was the Alexa Bliss spot. That was really weird. I don't know if that went off the way it was supposed to or what. Because, you get back to Raw and nothing ever came of it, really. She was about to transform into what I call Twisted Bliss. I think that's what they call her.
That's how it should be. That's how she should be referred to.
It should. But she's about to transform into Twisted Bliss, and then Shayna Baszler throws her out. I think it was Shayna. Maybe
it was Rhea Ripley.
She throws her. Rhea Ripley throws her out, and okay, that was weird. It happened. The spot at the end. I would like the internet to shut the hell up. Bianca won. Don't this image of her feet touching the ground needs to just go and be deleted off the web because it didn't. They didn't. Yeah, because when they were both hanging on for dear life, it looks like maybe her feet touched the ground. But guess what? A spot like that isn't going to happen without something like that potentially going awry. And both women are incredibly athletic, incredibly just incredible at what they do. They're the EST of the women's division, in my opinion. I love Rhea Ripley. I mean, and one thing that I will acknowledge about Rhea Ripley, she's 26. The girl, she has her whole entire career ahead of her. I'm not trying to be like, oh, Bianca's so old, but you know what I mean. Like, come on, Bianca deserved it. She needs to face Sasha Banks at the Royal Rumble or at WrestleMania. I'm really off. Men's spots, the Randy Orton thing rubbed me the wrong way. Braun coming out at 30 was just shocking to me. We both popped for Carlito.
Hardcore. I'm not over. I'll get to that.
Yeah. I woke up. I had people coming into my room asking me if everything was okay. Chris had people coming into his room, but then he was like, who are you? But then I'm like, it's just like, there's like, the Edge winning from 1 was cool as hell.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Edge's health worries me with him winning the Royal Rumble. It does. And, you know, we've always been like, there's a part of me that's like, was Keith Lee supposed to win the Royal Rumble? And then they were like, ah, crap. And then they gave it to Edge.
Oh, that's a good. That's a good question.
I'm not going to hypothesize anything that I shouldn't
question.
be, you know? But Edge winning from number 1, both had us going, I don't think I said a word for the rest of the show. I was kind of just show shocked. I was so shocked by that. Like,
we were speechless.
Moment.
You're lost for words.
I was. And it's like, we'll get into Edge later on. I think that we should reserve the Edge talk for the 3rd count because that's the plan. Because, like, you know, our thoughts on Edge winning, I do think that it could have gone to a younger person, but I will argue that, like, though Edge is on this multi-year deal, who knows how many Royal Rumble matches the guy's got left in him. If their plan was to have him win it within the next few years, why not do it as early as possible? If that's what the plan was, I do not know. Mm-hmm. Chris Anthony Lopez, take it away.
This show overall was a fucking riot. That's my one. I really do. We've talked about it in the show more than enough times since we started the show in September. I forget when it was.
We're on episode 16, so there's probably math out there.
16? Damn.
Yeah.
So when we started the show, we've said from the beginning, we love the Royal Rumble. It's our favorite pay-per-view. So just to preface all of this, right, and I should have said this at the top, you might be thinking to yourself, wait, Nick, Chris, you guys said that you weren't going to talk about the weekly shit. This is the Rumble. We love it so much.
Yes.
So, right, this is what the deal is. This pay-per-view freaking ruled. It was so much fun from top to bottom. Again, they did exactly what they should have done. Drew McIntyre needed to beat Goldberg. That's exactly what they did. They made Goldberg look strong for a 50-year-old man. But I think he'll be fine.
I'm going to spare you I hear that, but go on.
Yeah, like I think Goldberg, he played his role. He shook the hand of McIntyre, put him over, and that's it. See you at SummerSlam, Goldberg, for whoever the hell you're going to face then.
WrestleMania.
Yeah, probably WrestleMania.
He did look old, though. I will.
He messed up the jackhammer again.
Yeah.
Again.
Sorry, go on.
We could have hurt these people. Come on, Bill. I know you're better than that. So that was okay. So besides the messed up jackhammer, you put over McIntyre. Good, great. Next, it was oh my God, what was it? The Rumble next?
No, it was Sasha versus Carmella.
Sasha Carmella was way better than expected. Way better than expected. I had a lot of fun watching that match, and Carmella's on the best run of her career. That's what's happening right now.
Hot take.
If she was in front of a crowd, I think she'd be super over alongside Reginald. I think Reginald's a great character to put against her. Obviously, if you watched Wrestle Reel last week, not Wrestle Real Talk, Wrestle Reel, you hear my thoughts on Reginald. And I think they doubled down during this show. I'm such a Reginald stan, it's ridiculous. So, I thought that match was a lot of fun to watch. Sasha went over as she should.
Yes.
The Women's Rumble. Great surprises. Victoria, Jillian Hall. Some great pops from the Wrestle Real Talk chat. 1,000%. I was so down for what they were doing. They could have fed me anything. Bianca winning from 3. Let's not forget that she had one hell of a performance. She was not only the Iron Woman, but she won the whole damn thing. And I will reserve, since we're saving our thoughts for later in the show, I will reserve my thoughts on Bianca winning the Royal Rumble until my high spot later in the show. But what I will say about it right now is that I really, really loved that Bianca won. And she 1,000% deserved it. Anyone on the internet that thinks otherwise, shame on you. And I will get to that later. After that, Roman and Kevin Owens. Woo! Woo! Give me some. Give me some. And Nick, you said it best. You've been waiting for Roman to turn heel. I'm waiting for Roman to turn heel, and now he's the best thing in wrestling. And if you would have told me that Kevin Owens and Roman Reigns would have put on one hell of a last man standing match, bar the finish, we'll talk about the finish in a second, but everything up to that, This was the most vulnerable that Roman has looked in his heel run, and he did a spectacular job. Let's not go without mentioning Kevin Owens is also kick-ass. They made Kevin look great. It took, like, these guys are killing each other. And that's what I want out of a match like this. When they first pitched me Owens Reigns, last man standing, I'm like, whatever. Like, what? Like, Roman's going to legitimately kill Kevin Owens, and that's it. Well, no, that's not what happened. He had some great spots throughout this thing. Spears through LED boards. Freaking forklift swantons onto Roman on tables. Like, that's the shit I want. Like, I love that stuff. And Kevin Owens is out here killing himself. He got hit by a golf cart, god damn it. Like, I thought to myself, like, this is like some of the best things that best match that Roman has put on. One of them in the last few years. Kevin Owens is the best he's looked in a very long time. This Roman feud, although he's coming out on the losing end, he still looks fantastic in it. Put more faith in Kevin Owens, you motherfuckers. Come on. And that men's match.
Jey Uso's got to be hurt though, right?
Where the?
Because that I will argue that golf cart spot, if he was healthy, which I think he's got to be hurt because he wasn't even in the Royal Rumble match. I think something happened on SmackDown because King Ross said that he was in the Royal Rumble picture
declared.
and then he was gone from the Royal Rumble picture by the end. The golf cart spot was Jay's, definitely. Like, go on. Sorry.
Oh, it was meant for Jay, but
that's my opinion.
Wow, no, that's one hell of a theory, and I wouldn't be surprised if it was true. But Jay's just one of the notable omissions from the Men's Royal Rumble. Yes, Orton and Edge started the match, and it started outside of the ring. Granted, you had to adapt to these new times. There's no fans there. If there weren't fans there, I bet the whole pay-per-view would have been different. But it's a matter of circumstance. I dug it. I really dug this Men's Rumble. I may be sour if you go back and watch our Wrestle Real Talk tape. I may look sour as a grape, but
we both
I promise you that since then, so as of this upload, 5 days ago, I thought to myself, nah, like that ain't it. Now I'm like, nah, that's probably the correct decision to make. Especially with what they're trying to do in like going forward with WrestleMania, 2-night WrestleMania, by the way. I don't know if you said that last week, but I'm gonna say it again now. This 2-night WrestleMania we're getting at Raymond James, and having Edge win was probably the safest bet. And as much as I wanted Daniel Bryan to win, like I think hopefully my man is still wrestling by this time next year. Maybe that could be his time, or they give him something else to cap off this incredible WWE career that he's had in such a short amount of time with that injury plagued in the middle. And maybe that's why it was so shitty when Edge won. But at the same time, Edge has had kind of the same story. Edge would have retired probably a few years ago if he never hurt his neck and he had that full fleshed out career. And now we get to see Edge do some cool stuff, which we'll get to in a little bit.
Can I say something that you could consider this a high spot if you would like? But I want you to take it because I know what the high spot is, and I agree. Or at least I'm assuming I know what it is.
Yeah, you're probably right.
At least, why did Hacksaw Jim Duggan win the first one? But anyways, could have just given it to Ron Simmons. But anyways, that's besides the point. My point that I would like to make right now is here's what I will say just because I'm thinking about it. And if you want to play the high spot thing in your mind, Edge won.
Yes.
If Edge challenges Drew McIntyre or the latter, and Daniel Bryan challenges Roman Reigns, then what the hell is WWE doing? By the latter, I mean NXT Championship, which he shouldn't. But that's besides the point. We'll talk about this later.
Yeah.
What? I mean, I am reserving my judgment because I think that I can predict a decent thing towards the end of the show, which is what we're going to do. But if Daniel Bryan still faces against Roman Reigns at WrestleMania, what are they doing? Now, with the ending of the Royal Rumble, I don't think that that's going to be the case. But again, we'll get to that. I just would like to bring that up right now. And and Chris and I will be eating crow throughout this show because, Edge won.
Yeah.
from one, which was something that we said was never going to happen at the beginning of Wrestle Real Talk. But if WWE still has Daniel Bryan face Roman Reigns at WrestleMania, I will get on my high horse and say that Edge should have never won. That's all I'm going to say right now. Go on.
Strong claims. Nick, go to sleep, Moldbach. Strong claims. I wonder where that nickname comes from.
It's because this is my brain and it says you can't. Go on.
So, wow, I found that awfully relatable. So the men's rumble, that has some great surprises in that too. I loved Carlito. My man's jacked. This man's ripped, and he was
looks like he's sticking around. By the way, yeah.
Yes, I read this thing how he's on like a trial basis. They're seeing how it goes, and then maybe they'll sign him. And MVP had a big part in that. By the way, I forget where I hear this from. I want to give them credit. Oh my god! Who said this? I'll think about it later. I want to give them credit because this was their point. But MVP. Oh, nope. I thought I had it. MVP has been a big reason why WWE is where it's at now, and we must give respect where respect's due. He was on a similar deal last year. Came back for the Rumble, stuck around for a few weeks. He retired technically,
yes,
and then he became a producer. Now he's an on-screen talent, managing the Hurt business. They're doing great. So, bang, MVP is a big part of 2020's success in WWE, specifically Raw. Let's give credit where credit is due. Now, that being said, Carlito, I'm not expecting the same thing for Carlito, but I would like him to stick around for a while. Because I think when fans come back, I want to hear that pop, bro. Like there's that pop of I spit in the face of people who don't want to be cool. I want to hear that because I would have lost my damn mind. And then we'll get to number 24 in a second. But I really do think that Carlito is the shit. It looks incredible. Seeing that backstab, we're getting big pops from Wrestle Real Talk. Big pops.
Yeah. Oh gosh, yeah.
And I was just so in awe at what was going on with Carlito. And he looked great, and he was eliminated by Baron Corbin or some shit. So of course, Buzzkill Corbin. But
he was eliminated by Damian Priest actually.
Oh, Damian Priest! I'm so glad you mentioned his name.
Yeah,
he was the MVP of this Rumble. Damian Priest was the MVP. I'm so glad he was on Raw. Main roster talent. Welcome to Raw, Damian Priest. Do better, do good, and by do better I mean you writing team. Do good.
Yeah. Book him in a match with Bad Bunny. Crap.
Wait, don't say that.
It's happening.
And it was fun to see Bad Bunny in this too. I know people aren't going to like the Bad Bunny stuff. I saw people not liking the Bad Bunny stuff at all. But it's like, yo, Bad Bunny's only like the biggest star on the planet right now.
Yeah, when he faces against Miz and Morrison with Damian Priest, everything will be great. Go on.
And Damian Priest, and if that is the case, they're putting Damian Priest in such a high regard. Let's remember that. Like, it's not just Bad Bunny in a match. What the hell is he going to do? More frog splashes where he almost slips off the top rope? No. Damian Priest will do the heavy lifting, literally. So, and he's going to go over. And they're both Puerto Rican. They're pulling the whole Latino card, and that's fantastic. Or at least I think Bad Bunny's Puerto Rican. Either way, Damian Priest was the MVP. He looked like $1 million that night.
Money in the Bank?
Yeah.
2021? Maybe?
That's a good early prediction. Damian Priest. Hell yeah, keep that in mind. Bookmark that going forward. And number 24. I want to mention this before we talk about the whole show and what they can do going forward, not with our third count though. So number 24 happens, and this was probably the most emotional I've gotten watching wrestling in a very long time. And trust me, I come on this show, I go on Spin from the Real, I go on Real Talk, I go on every other program we have on this channel, and I say that I pop occasionally. Because all my wrestling fans know, popping, for those who don't know, is when you have an audible reaction and you get really excited to see something. You know?
This is WWE, or this is Wrestle Real. Everybody knows what pop means.
I feel like every time I come on a program, I have to say I popped. I said it on For Chris's Sake this past week. So I think that number 24 was the biggest pop I've had in over a year. And it was Christian. The Christian, Captain Charisma, came out number 24, By the way, my man also looked shredded.
Yeah.
Let's not forget that my man, he looks like Edge. They're like dad bod shredded, but I like it. He looked great, Christian. And my man came back, and hearing his music, I go watch the tape. Go watch the tape. I lost my damn mind. And Christian was one of my favorite wrestlers to watch growing up. I
Same.
loved Christian. Granted, it was the WWE CW run.
Yes. Oh my gosh. It's just
but
okay. We were debating as whether we were the same person at the beginning of the show.
And we are. And I love Christian. That World Heavyweight title run he had in like 2011 with Randy Orton was fantastic.
Greatest week of my life. Yeah, it was.
Right? Like it was. Oh goddamn! Like I love Christian so much. But then he was a part of that string of like Bryan, Edge, Christian, Page, where they all had to retire due to injuries.
Mm-hmm.
In Christian's case, it was like a neck concussion thing. And seeing my man come back, granted he was on Raw early last year.
I'll be honest, Christian is literally like one of my favorite wrestlers of all time, and I think that might be why I didn't have as audible of a reaction as you did, because I'm like, oh well, I mean, we've seen him recently, haven't we?
Yeah, but he didn't like work a whole match.
Hey,
but like from that point forward, we're like, And really, since Daniel Bryan and Edge came back, people are like, Christian, Page, maybe we'll see.
Page at 30 next year. Woo!
God damn!
Fans in the audience.
If fans are back, we're not ready for that. So I think with Christian coming back, I lost. I couldn't start crying. I was this close to crying. Like right now, as we speak by my television, I have my Christian fig popping a squat because I'm such a Christian mark, and he was taking bumps and he was working because I was scared that he was going to be in and out. You know, he was one of the final four. Or one of the final five, I should say.
Yeah.
So, God damn. I hope talk about people that I want to stay. I want Christian to stay.
I've heard those rumors.
And if he's comfortable and he's safe, obviously he's cleared. And if he wants to wrestle, if they're going to let him wrestle, take him away from Edge. And I don't want to jump ahead too far. I don't know how our third count's going to play out for you and for me. Actually, I know my third count's going to play out. But spoiler alert, it had something to do with Christian. So I want to keep Christian and Edge apart, and then we can reunite them later when fans are back.
Tag team championship run?
I want them to face the New Day really bad, but that's aside the point. I think Christian should be on SmackDown. If he is going to be on SmackDown, as of this upload, SmackDown will be in about an hour and a half. Yes, and Big E teased that match we never got. Christian never got his Intercontinental title match, and it's like, like we'll see what happens to Christian. But big pops in the chat for Christian. Huge pops in the chat for Christian.
That was the new Chris Anthony Lopez phrase, by the way, was big pops in the chat. He said that, yeah, you can play the Chris. If you guys are daring enough to play a drinking game watching one of our live streams, just be aware that if you are playing the big pops in the chat, or any Wrestle Real Talk Royal Rumble drinking game, you're probably not going to make it. There are some things that I've said on this show that I carry on in my daily life. Pops in the chat is something I do say sometimes. In my daily life, I'll be at work. You know, I'll just get done with a kick ass break on radio, and I'm like, damn, pops in the chat. And, I'm like, what? I'm so freaking lame. No, you're not. It's awesome. But the Rumble t-shirts. we do need Wrestle Real merch. But I think the Rumble, although the finish was unexpected, I'm appreciative now because Lord knows could have been worse. And we weren't the only ones, Nick, that felt that way. A lot of people were scared of of Goldberg coming out at 30. I think PLD thought that was going to happen. Shout out to PLD. I know I watched Brian Zane's Wrestling with Regret video, his reactions. They thought him and Jay Biggs, and I forget the man that was with them. Shout out to that brother, I forget his name. But they all thought Goldberg was going to come out at 30 as well, so we weren't the only ones. And yeah, it was Braun, a welcome surprise, I should say. Greatest Royal Rumble winner, man. Yes. So I
I'm cool with the Edge one. I'm cool with Edge. I'm cool with Orton being the last one he eliminates. It's kind of a nice story. They're done. They just wrestled this past Monday on Raw. They're done. Please stop with Orton Edge stuff. Stop it. Orton's gonna move on to the Fiend. Edge is gonna move on to Redacted, and then we're gonna go from there. So overall, this was a great show to start 2021.
Yes. Yeah.
And they put the spotlight on the people who have been working their asses off to get to the position where they're at. Kevin Owens, Roman Reigns, Edge, Bianca Belair, Drew McIntyre, Sasha Banks, all the winners of that night, like they all been working their asses off. And just to mention the other omission that I forgot to mention earlier, Keith Lee, you can tell his absence was glaring.
Yes.
It was a glaring absence, and I know that Mia Yim tested positive for COVID like a few days beforehand. So, and Keith Lee is her IRL boyfriend or significant other, I should say, and maybe he's quarantining too. Hence why he wasn't in the Rumble. The theory was that that's why the Hurricane was there.
Yes, I was about to say that's definitely why Hurricane was there. That guy's always got his gear with him.
Yeah, I mean, Shane Helms always has his gear. So, yeah, I would like to see that Rumble if Keith Lee was there. Who knows if Keith Lee would be the winner? All I know is that I'm just appreciative that it went to somebody who's going to have a meaningful run going into WrestleMania. And although we're worried about his health and how he gets there, it's up to us later in the show. But we will figure that out when we get there.
Well,
so,
I don't think that he was going to appear on NXT, which he did, by the way. Spoilers, I guess. If Keith Lee was going to win, I don't know. I feel like they've had a lot of time to plan this. So Edge was probably going to be the winner.
Yeah.
But I think Keith Lee would have been in our final four. I just, yeah. Oh, Kane? Forgot about Kane.
Kane, the mayor of Knox County.
Which sucked because he eliminated more people than he should have, including Damian Priest.
Did he eliminate Damian Priest?
He did.
I'm pissed.
Shout out to Dominic Mysterio for literally being thrown out of the ring by Bobby Lashley like a freaking ragdoll. Like, shout
out to Dominic Mysterio. Holy hell. Just good job, brother. Eliminated Baron Corbin. You're in my good graces.
Yeah, he had his first Royal Rumble. He had an elimination. Good for him. Seriously.
Hell yeah.
Before we move on really quickly, I have two things. Notable people missing, in my opinion. We're missing Cedric Alexander. We're missing Shelton Benjamin. We're missing Keith Lee. We're missing Bray Wyatt. We're missing just a Bray Wyatt spot, let alone anything else. We're missing, Brock and Goldberg, obviously, were people that were said that it was going to happen. We're missing, I don't know, Drew Gulak's a meme at this point, so he probably wasn't. No R-Truth during the match. Yeah, I know. I just, like I said, I feel like we're missing a lot of guys in the men's Royal Rumble. And
which one's the better one, the men's or women's?
Women's, I think. And by the way, here's one thing I'm going to theorize before I quickly hit the 2 button, because this is kind of going to be a meme one. But all right, MVP, Carlito.
Book it, brother.
Slam Master J next year.
Wait. No. Look,
I have control, man.
Switching gears to something that happened this week. We're not going to expose when we recorded this. Holy shit, Kento's on Dynamite, and he's already booked for next week's Dynamite. He's going to be tagging with Kenny Omega, and he's going to face off against IWGP United States Champion Jon Moxley and Lance Archer. That match is going to rule. Oh, yeah.
It's going to be so cool.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But why we mention that is because, what the fuck? People from New Japan are coming on AEW now? Because okay, context before Nick and I just run wild on this story. So AEW, right? They didn't need this. AEW's been doing such a great job on on Wednesdays with Dynamite. They beat NXT all the time. NXT is maybe topped Dynamite in the ratings like 3 times, maybe 4. And
Edge Week did not even come close to beating. They almost had 1 million viewers this week.
So it was awfully intriguing that they started a work relationship with Impact. when we talked about Kenny Omega on the show a few weeks ago, where like he's the Dynamite or he's the AEW World Champion going over to Impact on Tuesdays, getting the Good Brothers involved.
Good Brothers.
Too sweet me, brother. And like all this crazy shit, right? And we're seeing more crossover between them. And then AEW announces a women's like qualifier tournament to face off against Hikaru Shida, my favorite.
Your favorite.
And we're getting this talent from Japan because it's booked as Japan versus the US. And there's a Japan bracket, and there's a US, and there's gonna be an incorporation of a bunch of talent that we have never seen before, at least to our American eyes, if you don't watch Japanese wrestling, which I can say in confidence that Nick and I do not.
We do not.
I'm
gonna pull it up though. There was the way that one of these wrestlers introduced themselves to American audiences is pretty freaking funny. But go on.
So that's gonna be dope. See more integration there. But now Jon Moxley is the IWGP World or United States Champion. He actually went back to New Japan for a show, and he will be there for a little bit. So I'm not surprised there. But what the frick was surprising is Kenta, formerly known as Hideo Itami to our WWE goggles, he popped up on Dynamite and made Jon Moxley go to sleep. And now we're thinking to ourselves, what the hell is going on? These 3 shows and their cross promotion during a pandemic of all things?
Mm-hmm.
And WWE shaking in their mother trucking boots because they know damn well they would never be able to do anything like this. So AEW, as much as I give them shit for being the markiest of mark promotions, you pop me like a motherfucker, AEW.
Oh
Seeing
my gosh.
Kenta in that cool ass go to sleep shirt, which I might have to cop. I might have to cop that shirt.
Yeah, I was kind of that is a beautiful Bullet Club. Is it a Bullet Club shirt? Yeah, it's a Bullet Club shirt. He's a Bullet Club. I saw Tama Tonga was going at it with him on Twitter or something like that. But I will say, and he called Carl Anderson a Festus lookalike, which was awesome.
That is awesome.
But just while I'm thinking about it, Maki Ito, she introduced herself to us on Twitter by saying, "Hello, motherfuckers." So that's
she's my favorite now.
She's the best. Yes, I don't even know who she is. She's the greatest wrestler of our generation. Now,
yeah,
I'm gonna pitch something to you here. Were we wrong or were we right almost the entire time? Is Jay White going to appear on AEW now?
So Jay White is confirmed to be with New Japan, but technically he will probably be on AEW television.
Right? Like, or Impact, I guess. Maybe.
Or Impact. Who the hell knows?
Jay White on. Who would have thought Jay White was going to Impact the entire time? Whoa!
Dude, okay, so I just want to take this time because really the second count is really just us popping at the fact that these 3 promotions are working together. In whatever capacity, this shit could end tomorrow. New Japan is just they're so stubborn with their talent, and they're not too big on cross promotion. So the fact that first of all, they've let Jon Moxley be their U.S. champion for this long.
Yes.
2, that they are sending out Kenta over here, and now Kenta's wrestling on Dynamite next week.
Oh, love him.
Like, what in the hell? This is just so cool to me. I love the fact I love synergy with my wrestling because wrestling's turned into this whole thing where it's territories, it's like the old days, right? But instead of having Memphis and Texas and all this crazy shit, now it's WWE, AEW, Ring of Honor, Impact. Those are just in the States. Moving to AAA in Mexico, you got New Japan overseas, and all the promotions in the UK. Now we got wrestling in India and in Australia. There's so many joints, right? And this is the tip of the iceberg into wrestling. I didn't even mention all the ones that are here in the States that are big. I didn't even mention PWG. So there's some great shit going on in wrestling. And I said on the show,
PWG technically is already interacting with AEW, right? Because what's his name? Isn't Lance Archer some form of a champion or something like that?
If he is, I don't know off the top of my head. I'm not the biggest PWG.
Is Lance Archer the one that Taz brought in?
Nope, that is Brian Cage.
Yeah, what titles does Brian Cage have?
The FTW title.
Yes. Okay. Sorry. There you go.
A while ago. So, yes. So as I mentioned on our first show this year, and I bet I said it on shows last year, when fans get back to wrestling, there will be a wrestling renaissance. We will have a stretch of time where wrestling is as popular as it has ever been. It may not be on television, but if you go to the shows, it's gonna hit different.
Dude, could you imagine this moment in front of a freaking crowd?
Could you imagine Carlito or Edge winning the Rumble or Sting going back to AEW all in front of a crowd?
Yes.
Like, or when Matt Hardy was with AEW, when Brody Lee popped up on AEW, and that was real early in the pandemic last year. Rest in peace, Brody Lee. God rest your soul. So I think that wrestling will hit different when it comes back, when fans are back in full capacity, when thousands upon thousands of people are all sharing the same air inside of a crusty arena. We're all going to think to ourselves, this is the best thing ever. I am overjoyed at the thought of going to a wrestling show. Fuck me. I know.
Wear your mask. Wear your freaking mask.
Wear your mask, damn it, so I can go to WrestleMania next year.
We can go to WrestleMania.
So we can go to WrestleMania next year. Where's it at? In LA, right? Yeah, LA.
Texas. No?
Texas? I thought LA was first and then Texas. Either way, I want to go to WrestleMania.
I need to see Roman Reigns versus The Rock live in person. All right, come on.
Yes, I want to see that WrestleMania Hollywood. Yeah, it's in LA. Yeah, they're doing the Hollywood thing. Either way, hell yes. And all these moments that we're talking about, and especially the three at the bottom, the AEW, New Japan, and Impact, those will all hit different. Impact may have their own little baby renaissance just amongst themselves. The popularity that Impact has had over the last year, like they've somehow managed, once the Hardys left and AJ left and all them folks, and they've been on a downward spiral, the whole Tessa Blanchard controversy, like they're saving themselves. Impact's on the rise again. The people are watching their weekly shows and telling me like, "Yo, Impact's the shit."
It's good.
Like,
yeah,
like,
I'll do some replays every once in a while.
Like, do I kind of watch Impact now? Like, I already watch a lot of shit, and like not even just wrestling, just like a lot of shit. Period.
Yes.
And these three companies are lifting each other up in the process. AEW don't need it. New Japan arguably don't need it. Impact arguably didn't need it. But they're propping each other up. They're swapping talent. They're wrestling on each other's shows. And it's the shit. As a fan, it's so much fun to watch. Where this could go, we have no idea. No idea. Is Kenta going to get the belt from Moxley and take it back to Japan? Like, is that how they're going to rock with that? Like, who knows? That's my guess. This won't last forever, obviously. I feel like once fans are back in their full capacity, these three shows will be like, all right, we'll bookmark this and keep it for later. Because they can do their own, like, they can sell out MSG because WWE don't like going to MSG anymore. So these three shows can run like the ultimate cross-promotion show and sell out MSG in minutes. And that gets me so excited as someone who wants to go to a show like that. So
give me
go ahead.
Moxley versus Kenta versus, let's see, who do I want from Impact? EC3, why not?
Ooh.
Versus Jay Lethal. Throw Ring of Honor into this freaking mix.
Ooh, it has to be Black Machismo.
Give me Black Machismo and give Jay Lethal the IWGP United States Championship.
Holy shit.
I love Jay Lethal, and he could have everything that he ever wants.
Wow. I'll have to be at that show. Seeing Black Machismo.
Or Kenta. I love Kenta.
I think Kenta, I think that's what they're going to do. They're going to have Kenta take the belt off Moxley and take it back to Japan.
Heel Hideo Itami, as most of us know him, is the best Hideo Itami.
Yes.
Because technically he's a heel, right? Like,
that's why Kenta's the shit. Yes.
Yeah, Kenta's incredible. Kenta's incredible. The Bastard's incredible. They give these guys their angry freaking gimmicks that they deserve. And like, because Neville did nothing until he became Cruiserweight champion and had to battle it out with Elmo Amore. Just give me and he was a pissed off bastard. And now he's Pac, and now he's Kenta, and they're fucking angry, and they're incredible. All right, WWE, think about it.
I love spiteful wrestlers.
Yes.
Because
bring back Slam Master J with some form of.
No. Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows are doing their own form of that. Matt Cardona is now part of Impact. So now the major bros are over there at Impact together. And Kurt Hawkins is doing some of the best stuff he's done in years over there too. So these three shows are just elevating each other in the process. And maybe I do have to watch them for the sake of Wrestle Real.
Yeah, but I'm thinking about it myself. That's why I watch highlights, just to see what's up, because it's like they brought back what's his name as Manic, but he's not Manic. He's he's this cool TJP Manic type character now, and I love it. They're doing great things, honestly. Hats off to Impact, because we could be like, oh, New Japan and AEW are doing great, because like they always are. Impact is doing some serious shit. They got Moose. They're gonna
benefit the most from this.
I mean, like Impact's like the most diverse group of wrestlers. They are the most incredible group of wrestlers. They made a freaking woman their world champion. Just hats off to Impact for trying as much shit as they should and do. I love Rich Swann. They gave him all the opportunities that he should have had in WWE, because Rich Swann is fantastic. Mm-hmm. They're making the Good Brothers amazing. They're kept the Motor City Machine Guns. One of my favorite tag teams of all time ever. It's just like, hats off to Impact, man. Hats off to Impact.
And Impact's going to benefit the most from this type of crossover. And hopefully we get more Impact talent in the Dynamite Zone, brother. So hopefully that's the case, instead of Kenny and the Bucks going to freaking Impact all the time. So it's just more exposure. But at the same time, this partnership could end tomorrow. It could be a one-time thing and that's it. But just the idea of these three promotions teaming up, and even if it's just for a test run for when fans come back and they put on that Ultimo show, yes, like the one Ring of Honor and New Japan did a few years ago, right, at MSG. If you can do something crazy like that, I think you can do some damage in the wrestling business. And it's not just WWE Sandbox anymore. It's AEW's there, New Japan's there, Impact is there, and so they're going to do some great shit. And I firmly can. I can't wait. I can't wait. Now, shit, I want to go to an Impact show.
Yeah.
If they travel. I want to go to a New Japan show if they ever come back to the States. Like, I want to go to more AEW stuff. I want to see all the wrestling in the world. I want to see all this shit that they're doing on TV in person.
Yeah. I have no doubt about it in my mind. It's incredible.
They're doing some great stuff, and it took a pandemic. Who would know? Who would have known the future of wrestling if the pandemic didn't happen? Would Impact be where it's at? Would New Japan be where it's at? AEW, all the decisions that they've made. Wrestling has done the best they can with little to no fans there, and I think we've gotten some of the better stuff during the last 12 months than we have in the last few years, depending on which promotion you ask or that you're talking about.
I agree.
So, holy hell, these three shows kicking ass, and I'm in the worst segue in Chris Anthony Lopez history. Edge kicked a lot of ass at the Royal Rumble. Not to go back to WWE, but I feel like we have to. We teased it enough during our first count, and we're gonna go right back to it in our third. So Edge won the damn Royal Rumble. The 2021 Royal Rumble winner, Edge, Adam Copeland. Sorry, Edge. But now my man is moving on to WrestleMania. And Nick and I thought to ourselves, what's he going to do? What the hell is my man going to do? And that's what we're going to tell you right now. We both went our separate ways. We have not consulted this at all. And we didn't specify how much detail we're going to go into, but I guarantee we'll chat about both of our prospects. Hopefully they're different.
They're not, but go on.
There's three possible outcomes. And Nick, please enlighten me on how you would book Edge going towards WrestleMania in the next few months.
It's simple to me.
Ooh.
Book him against Roman Reigns. I'm sorry, Chris. I'm not going to keep him away from Christian because I think that you're going to see the freaking best tag team, world's greatest tag team. No offense to Charlie Haas and Shelton Benjamin, of Edge and Christian facing against Jey Uso and Roman Reigns, or the Usos in general. I think we're going to see the SmackDown Tag Team Champions just thrown around into this. And there's one simple thing to do at the end of the SmackDown afterwards. You could even do it on Raw. It's been a great run, Universal Championship. But the Rated R Superstar is going to bring back the World Heavyweight Championship after he wins it. Poggers Chris, what do you think?
Excuse me, I just burped. Wow. Oh, wow. Okay,
Poggers Chris.
So that's okay. Let's unpackage that.
So it's not what he was saying because he just went into a complete shock there.
No, I went in a different direction, and I'll explain why when we get there. But so you have Spear v. Spear, the popular theory going into Monday night, and it was Edge, Roman Reigns, Universal title at WrestleMania. Okay. I'm not against that. I think it's the story of two generations of wrestling, really, with Edge and Roman Reigns, and Roman can finally show Edge that he has a superior spear. Oh. But we
all know it's true.
With what Roman's doing right now, he'd be a great foil to Edge. Getting the Usos involved when Jimmy and Jay get back involved. Maybe Jay's in quarantine. Who knows? He may not even be hurt. And we know Jimmy's on the come up whenever he comes back. He should be back in the next few months, probably before WrestleMania. So I wonder how that's going to pan out. I would love to see Edge and Christian versus the Usos proper. That'd be freaking nuts. But Edge and Roman, it writes itself, dude. You don't even need to try too hard. You can start that build a month in advance, and they don't even have to make any type of physical contact with each other. And I think it'd be pretty well executed. As much as I would like to see mine, yours is probably more realistic. What's happening?
I'm excited for yours.
I mean, it's nothing too new, but I will elaborate in a second.
I can't put my finger on it.
So
unless it's Drew versus, but go
on. And I'm not gonna get too far ahead of myself. With Edge and Roman, that's probably the second option, at least in regards to the next few months. The first option, the most realistic, is Roman and it's Drew and Edge, right? That's not mine either.
Ooh. See, we're gonna have differing viewpoints on this if it's where I'm thinking that you're about to say.
Edge doesn't need to win at WrestleMania. In any of these circumstances, he probably won't. If they want to give him the belt, fantastic. I would love to see what you just said pan out. Ditch that blue piece of shit. Bring back the big gold belt, and everything's all right in the world.
Yes, the world is healing.
The world is healing, and it slowly is. But last night, after this recording, spoiler alert, we recorded this on Thursday.
You said we weren't going to say it. I got
I watched NXT, or at least the part where Edge showed up. And I couldn't help but think, I don't give a shit who the NXT champion is. Book it, Vince. And I okay. Before we start talking about this, I know what Charlotte did last year was the worst, and I will be the first person to acknowledge that they did not do Rhea good at all. Rhea should have won that match, but it's Charlotte. Now, let's go back to Edge. So at Vengeance Day, by the way, great. We bring back Vengeance NXT. I see you. And it's going to be Pete Dunne versus Finn Balor. Pete Dunne's not winning. So let's just put that out there now. Viable options for the NXT champion going into this build that I'm doing. It can be Finn Balor, preferably Finn Balor.
But it's gonna be Karrion Kross.
It could be Karrion Kross. It could be Tommaso Ciampa. It could be freaking Johnny Gargano. Like it could be a few people. I prefer Finn Balor, but it can be interchanged with Karrion Kross. Edge said in an interview he came here because he came back to wrestling and he doesn't want to be part-time so he can work with people he's never gotten to work with before. So he can work more matches and work different things. We just saw him work Randy Orton like 50 times, and I'm tired of it. I don't want this to be a greatest hits or it's run through people I've already worked before. I don't want that. Granted, Edge has not wrestled McIntyre and Roman Reigns to my knowledge. If it was McIntyre, it was a long time ago.
He probably has on his first run, yeah.
Yeah, and Drew's a different dude now, so yes. I'm not going to count it. But we can get those things later, and I'm not saying that Edge has to waste a Rumble, but I would prefer to see him and Finn Balor just really define two different parts of wrestling over the last 20 years. Finn Balor being one of those guys who's been the ultimate indie wrestler. Prince Devitt was running roughshod in New Japan Pro Wrestling before he came over to NXT. Yes. And Edge, while Prince Devitt was doing his thing, Edge was either doing the little do we know, some of the final work of his career before 2020, or he was already hurt. And for a lot of the already hurt portion, Prince Devitt was taking over Bullet Club and running New Japan Pro Wrestling. So they have yet to lock arms, and just at the prospect of that gets me really excited. Mm-hmm. Do you have to use it at WrestleMania? No. Do I think you should do it at WrestleMania? Yes. Because in regards to Roman and to Drew, Keith Lee should be facing off against Drew McIntyre at WrestleMania. And for shits and giggles, you can throw Brock Lesnar in there. I know Brock doesn't want to work matches without fans. If you want to have some fun, throw him in there. Keith should be in that spot, though, because they're already moving towards the Sheamus thing now. You can use Keith later.
Yeah.
Roman Reigns. It's going to be Daniel Bryan. That's the guess. Because now Daniel is the ultimo babyface. We love Daniel Bryan. He's facing off against the person that was the best heel of 2020 in Roman Reigns. And he's still a great heel, one of the best heels in wrestling right now.
Yeah.
And that match is going to rule because Roman's a great worker. People forget that. I forget that sometimes. And Daniel Bryan's a fantastic worker. I did not mention this at the top of the show, but I rewatched Kofi and Daniel Bryan this week. It was on the YouTube, and I watched it. And I'm like, yo, this match rules. Daniel Bryan's so good. And with Roman Reigns, he can put over Roman, make him look like $1 million, even though he already looks like $950,000.
$10 trillion, yeah.
He looks he's great. He's gonna drive in tickets and fans when fans come back.
Yes.
But I think they're gonna do the Daniel Bryan thing on SmackDown. They should put Keith Lee on Raw. Where does that leave Edge? NXT. And I'm not saying he should win the belt. He should not. He should just go out in the Blades of Glory. Give him 25 minutes at WrestleMania. Finn Balor versus Edge could be a fucking barn burner. Finn Balor's an incredible worker. Edge doesn't have to do the heavy lifting. He doesn't even have to meet him halfway. As I hit my computer, he doesn't have to meet him halfway. You could do a Balor heavy match, and Edge could still put in all that good work he was doing against Randy last year and what he did against Randy this past Monday. So I'm totes in on Balor or Cross. If you want to get wild, make a Karrion Kross. I think Balor's more realistic.
Yes.
But
I would love to see Timothy Thatcher versus Edge personally.
Holy hell.
That would be oof.
If you want to get crazy, you do that shit. Tommaso Ciampa. They have similar stories. Both guys plagued by neck injuries. And now they're about to kill each other at WrestleMania. That's something I'd love to see too. But Balor's the most viable option in my eyes. If not him, I would like Ciampa. If not him, Kross.
Here's what I'm going to say. They did tease Kross in a backstage segment at the end of the show.
And like, damn, why would you do that then? If it wasn't in the card.
Here's what I'm gonna say. NXT or WWE. I'm gonna look you straight in the eyes right now. We're gonna do this.
Oh, here we go.
WWE. If you're gonna do this, if it's gonna be Balor versus Edge, main event the show, you pussies.
Oh, hell on earth! Nick Moba coming in hot. Main event the show.
If they're gonna waste, I say it's a waste only because this Royal Rumble match was incredible. He won it from one. You don't win it from one to face against the NXT champion unless you're main eventing the show, in my opinion. That's just me.
Wow.
But that is a main event deserving match. Do not tell me otherwise.
Nope, it is 1,000%.
Unless this is Daniel Bryan's last WrestleMania match until they make him come out of retirement and then fight in Saudi Arabia while he's bald. Give me.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Give me. Yeah, right. That was a weird Adam Pearce and Triple H DX match, but still.
Yep.
Give me the main event if you're gonna do it. If you're not, then I feel like again you're just kind of not wasting a Royal Rumble, but it's like you could have given somebody else the Royal Rumble win if you were gonna have Edge go to NXT to face Karrion Kross, which again would be one hell of a match.
And let me preface that this is totally coming from my heart, not my brain. Like
Yes.
I'm Edge will not face off against NXT champion at WrestleMania. That won't happen. That will not happen on this earth.
We said this about him winning, and he won, Chris. We can't
You're
keep
right,
saying
but there's
this.
no way he goes to NXT. I think it'll either be Drew or Roman, although my other options for those two guys I think should stand because these men have been putting in some great work, and Keith Lee deserves a rub, as well as Daniel Bryan, although Daniel Bryan has had himself one hell of a Hall of Fame career. Edge, though, wanted to face new talent. He has never wrestled Finn Balor.
Or Roman Reigns.
Right. But we can do that later. Like give me Finn Balor Edge now. You can do Daniel, like what you said. This would be Daniel Bryan's last Mania. Have him put over Roman.
Yeah, I know.
If that's the case, then great. If Daniel Bryan is going to come back for WrestleMania 37, then okay. Plug in Edge. I rock with everything you said earlier in this count. But my God, give me Balor Edge. Even if we don't get it at WrestleMania, give it to me at SummerSlam or some shit. Like, it doesn't even need to be for the belt. Just have them wrestle each other for the love of God. and I know it's the most unrealistic. There's no way that Vince went to sleep tonight thinking to himself, Edge and Finn Balor. He was probably just like Edge and Finn Balor. Like, what the hell? Like, these nerds expect me to put both of them. Like, all these nerds that on YouTube are expecting me to put Edge and Balor. LOL, hashtag LMAO nerds. So it won't happen, but I would really, really dig it. I think you can tell a really great story with Balor and Edge. If you make Balor super mega heel to Edge's super mega baby face, you can make this work, and you can play up the fact that Edge was away for so long, that Balor was here the whole time, and the one time he got hurt in WWE, that he really got hurt, like it was something that was out of his control, and like he didn't hurt himself. Another guy hurt him, and that's why he's in NXT running roughshod, starting from the ground up, and you can do this whole story with it over the next month and a half, 2 months, however you want to book it. And in the meantime, on the way to Finn Balor, Edge can wrestle some NXT talent. So,
okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'll give you that, but I want to fantasy book something that would never, ever happen.
Let's hear it.
And I just thought of this as I was listening to you say this, because Edge Balor, Edge Demon, main events WrestleMania. Demon Finn Balor beats Edge.
Mm-hmm.
The next SmackDown. The SmackDown ends with a Daniel Bryan championship celebration.
Oh, shit.
Where he unveils the World Heavyweight Championship that he had once before.
Uh-huh.
in the last 30 seconds of the show, Daniel Bryan is speared out of his damn boots. This long-haired man picks up the World Heavyweight Championship, grabs a microphone, and Edge says, "This is mine." Heel turn Edge ends the show. SmackDown after WrestleMania. You thought I was going to be like, Joe Anai comes out and spears him out of his boots and says, "This is mine." But no, I'm saying Edge spears Daniel Bryan out of his boots, and we get Daniel Bryan versus Edge for the World Heavyweight Championship.
Losing to the Demon made Edge turn heel and pick on Daniel Bryan. I think yes. Yes. If yes. I could rock. I could again. Unlikely.
We're not writing for WWE. If we were
for a good reason.
For it would be us thinking that this is the greatest show in the world, and Slam Master Jay would beat Edge at WrestleMania for the World Heavyweight.
Wait, again?
Damn. Sorry, I love Slam Master.
That's 3 straight counts, Nick Mulbach. So
I'll bring it up in your damn high spot too, and I know what your high spot's about. So
every fall of this show has involved freaking Slam Master Jay. But look, I think that Balor and Edge can do some great stuff. The other two guys, they don't need Edge, but if you want, like, we can save the Edge big money main events for when fans come back. And in the meantime, you can do some great stuff. So they'll probably view it as them throwing away this Rumble opportunity. Well, Charlotte won the NXT belt last year. Don't think about what she did after that, but she won the belt last year, and the great match at WrestleMania, one of the better ones.
Yes.
So Edge, Balor, that's where I would like to see it go. And obviously the people at NXT are way better at booking than I am. But it'll probably be...
Sorry, I just hit a wrong button.
It'll probably be Roman or Drew. And odds are it'll be Drew McIntyre.
Okay. Well, Chris Anthony Lopez, it's come to that point, and I feel like we've gotten here earlier than we've gotten here last few weeks. What a show. What a good show.
We've had a long week. We've done like 5
I feel like the past 3 weeks, we've gotten like hours upon hours of wrestling related content, which is great. Dylan, we love you. We hope you're still here. But Mark in the live chat, if you're watching us live in the premiere time, if you're still here. But Chris Anthony Lopez has a high spot that I almost want to just give you the floor for, because this is a pretty big high spot. If you want it. I could.
No. I like sharing the screen. Plus, I don't like my ugly mug.
I don't like mine either, but we have to deal with it. You know what? It's saying it.
Wait. I mean, that made my heart stop. Okay, look. We're doing our high spot now. Let's get this party started.
Sorry.
Nick a little eager on the trigger right there with the high spot. we unlimited power, Nick Mulbach. So yes, my high spot for this week, it pertains to the Women's Royal Rumble. Bianca Belair winning the Rumble from 3. Yes. Oh my God, yes. Bianca Belair, one of the rising stars of WWE. She is strapped to a rocket, and she will become a superstar by the end of this year. She has you can market the shit out of her. We love Black Girl Magic. She is an incredible wrestler, awfully athletic, one of the most athletic wrestlers on the women's roster.
She's the EST of WWE.
She's the EST in WrestleMania. Like, what the hell? So I love Bianca Belair. I've been such a fan of her for a while now. And I believe we said it on Wrestle Real Talk, where out of the 3, like, she's married to Montez Ford, and Montez is obviously in the tag team with Angelo Dawkins. Mm-hmm. So out of the 3 of them, Bianca will probably have the most noteworthy career, especially with her being the first African-American wrestler to win the Women's Royal Rumble. Fantastic. Because we had Asuka, we had Becky Lynch, Charlotte, and now Bianca Belair. That's awesome. That is so dope. But when I say that, on Wrestle Real Talk this past Sunday, I thought to myself, and I asked you and Victor on the show. I said, when is the last time a black person won the Royal Rumble? And I think I said it or Victor said it. We said The Rock, and that was in 2000. Okay. And then I posed the question of who's the last person of color to win the Royal Rumble besides Shinsuke and Asuka in 2018, where they both won it in the same year. I forgot Rey Mysterio. How dare I? That was in 2006. Okay. Since then, so are you telling me I can count on my one hand, every Rumble winner in history of the Royal Rumble? So out of people of color, Asuka, Shinsuke Nakamura, Rey Mysterio, The Rock, and now Bianca Belair. Is that it? Am I forgetting anybody? Like,
unfortunately, I don't believe so.
What? Okay. I get it. So like it's hard to avoid some stars and their star power. So I'm not even gonna try to make it a race thing because this isn't a conversation. Actually, no, it is a race thing. WWE has had a hard time making
Yokozuna.
Okay, 6.
Roman Reigns, but is he though?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just fact checking for you, but I mean it in the extent of how many Royal Rumbles have there been. Like, I'm completely with you here.
So, like, and I did not include the Samoans. That's on me. Either way, my point still stands.
It does.
I shouldn't have to think about this shit.
Alberto Del Rio. We just wanted to forget about him.
But we wiped that one from our brains. But damn, he didn't even do anything with that shit either. So there have been people of color who've won the Royal Rumble. Yes, 1,000%. And this is just a bigger problem in WWE where I think that they don't have the most confidence in their peeps of color, if we're being frank. And all their world champions, like going back to Kofi Kingston a few years ago. Before him, it was The Rock, technically. Before him, it was Booker T and Ron Simmons. We don't have too many black world champions in WWF history. The Royal Rumble, it's more lenient, right? Like the last black person to win the Rumble was The Rock in 2000. That was 21 years ago. You've had people of color win since: Roman, Rey Mysterio, and Alberto Del Rio. That's 3 in 21 years. That's an 1/8 of the folks being of color. Oh, and Shinsuke, I apologize. But really? Before we were talking about this past Rumble, we were talking about Keith Lee. I like to think that what you said at the top of the show, Nick, stands. That if Keith Lee was there, he would have won, and that the booking changed last minute. Probably wasn't the case, but just because I like to.
We like to think it. Trust me, I was liking to think it too.
What's the problem with WWE and booking folks of color? Not saying that they're all bad. Not saying they're all bad. Asuka was one of the people that carried wrestling last year for WWE. Sasha Banks, same thing. And now Sasha is given the respect that she's due because she's been champion before, but this is one of her better runs in the last year and a half. Sasha's been on fire, as she should. Asuka's been great for the most part. Now she's relegated to being a background player in a Ric Flair, Charlotte Flair feud again. People saying again, for the love of God. Roman Reigns on top of SmackDown. It's great. That's awesome. Hell yeah. But everything in between, like the Hurt Business has been doing great shit, but God knows what things would have been like sans pandemic.
Yeah.
And I was just so in awe at Bianca being the second black person in WWE history to win the Royal Rumble. Out of the God knows how many they've had. When was the first one? 88?
Yeah, where Jim Duggan won. Like, I'm not trying to say I don't love the Hacksaw, but it's just like even so though, I agree with you. It's like the booking is terrible. The Rock being the only the Rock being the option that was viable to them is sad because there's been plenty of more viable options that should have won. I would have loved to have seen Booker T win a Royal Rumble.
And I'm going to say this, and it's probably controversial, whatever, but I stand by it. WWE uses The Rock as a technicality. When you push The Rock, when they promote The Rock, yes, he is half black, 100%. Rocky Johnson was a black man. May he rest in peace, the Soul Man. But he is, in WWE's eyes, he is Samoan first and black second. And if I'm wrong, please tell me in the comments why I'm wrong. I would love to be proven wrong on this. When Bianca won the Rumble, she was the second African-American person to be the winner of the Royal Rumble. I was in awe. Mm-hmm. And then it made me think. You have two other men, although Yokozuna was booked as a person from Asia, but he was a Samoan man. Roman Reigns won the thing in 2015. And then you had Asuka and Shinsuke win 2018. And then Mysterio and Del Rio in 2006 and 2011, respectively. Mm-hmm. Okay, awesome. They're there and they're represented. But at the same time, let's also look at where those things went. Yeah. All of them. Like, Roman was put on a pedestal, and the Samoans were put on a pedestal for good reason. Samoans are a big part of wrestling history, and they must be acknowledged as such. Yeah. Rey Mysterio. His run was one big celebration of Eddie Guerrero. Regardless of where you stand on that, like it was them showing love to Eddie. Eddie was mentioned a lot during that run. Mm-hmm. And Rey winning the belt was one hell of a moment. Hell yes. Del Rio. Nothing. It's an asterisk. You know? The only 40-man Rumble in proper Rumble chronological or in proper Rumble canon. Asuka and Shinsuke. We saw where Shinsuke's still floating around on the mid card. Still. 3 years ago. 3 years later. Asuka is so damn charismatic. They had to put her on camera. They put her on commentary. She was speaking Japanese the whole time. It was great. Now with Bianca, WWE, this is your time to properly elevate two black women and put them in the platform that they have never been in before. When in WWE history have two black people main evented WrestleMania? Never. Two black people and two black people only, not multi-man matches. And if I'm wrong, if I'm missing one, then by all means, I would love to be corrected. Will it main event? Probably not.
No, but I think it's going to be.
It'll draw
the best match of the damn night.
It will draw so many eyes, and WWE is all about their representation, and they love being known in their. They like being represented well by good people, and they are. Joe Anae is a great guy.
Love him.
Drew McIntyre is a great guy.
Love him.
John Cena's a great guy. Like they love being represented by.
Slam Master Jay is a great guy. Did it again to you, buddy.
They love being represented by great folks. Bianca has been the talking point since the Rumble. Mm-hmm. Edge makes the nostalgia marks pop. Bianca's the feel-good story of this Rumble. Her victory speech or her victory promo after that,
beautiful.
One of the best babyface promos of the last decade. Like, and I don't know what the hell else someone like Bianca has to do. And She did this herself. She came up through the WWE system, but because she's so damn charismatic, she's so damn talented, you have to put her in a spot like that.
Yeah.
You have to.
No
Sasha
doubt
did the
about that.
same thing. And now hopefully we see those two wrestle at WrestleMania this year. I'm hoping for it. I've been wanting it for months now on this program. But I shouldn't have to think twice about the last black person to win the Royal Rumble or something like that. When Kofi when he won the world title a few years ago at WrestleMania, that was a long time coming. There's a video of MVP and Shad Gaspard, R.I.P. Shad Gaspard, crying when Kofi Kingston won that belt.
Yeah.
And I don't want to make it just about black people because WWE does have a problem with the representation across the board. There should be a lot more people of color in prominent positions. But god damn it, as a black man watching Bianca win the Rumble, I was so overjoyed. Watching Kofi win the world title, I was so overjoyed.
Yes.
But those moments come so few and far in between. And it's such a bummer. And hopefully we'll get more. They'll pick it back up with Shinsuke. Asuka won't just drop the belt to Charlotte on a random Raw anytime soon. And she'll continue that respect that she's been given over the last year.
Mm-hmm.
I like what the Legado de Fantasma is doing on NXT right now. It's great. Where's Angel Garza? Where's Andrade?
Where is Angel Garza? Andrade's hurt, I think, right?
I have no idea. I like seeing color on TV. I
Agreed.
do. As much as I love all the top guys. Now, I love Drew McIntyre. I have no issue with any of the folks on TV right now. My problem is with the WWE big picture. Who's writing these things? Who's booking these things? The on-camera talent is doing what they were told to do.
Right.
I have no issue with that. But, god damn it, 21 years.
21 long
between
years.
Black Rumble winners. And how many Black World Champions have we had since then are not named Dwayne The Rock Johnson? And I know Sasha, multiple-time women's champion. Multiple time. But I bet she'll even be the first one to tell you that more than half of those ended abruptly.
Yeah.
And she deserves lengthier runs, more drawn-out runs, and they gave her that last year, and we're still giving that to her now.
Mm-hmm.
Let's keep that train going to WrestleMania.
Keep it going.
Hopefully, Bianca will take the reins.
I think that she will.
And we'll see. And we'll get there when we get there. One step at a time.
I think so. That was one of the best high spots I have ever seen.
Thank you, sir.
Because it's the freaking truth. It is.
It's sad. It's a sad truth. And I know that I'm not saying that WWE doesn't use people of color. They do, obviously. And there's some of the better parts of the weekly programming. But they ain't towards the top.
Nope.
They are not towards the top. And Roman is doing a great job of representing the Samoans. And like he's doing some of the best work in wrestling right now. But holy shit. This is more of a problem in wrestling, period. Just utilizing and I pick on WWE because it's the one I watch the most.
It's the easiest too. But Impact is doing it. Impact's doing it. Representation well.
Impact is doing it. We'll get there AEW. I feel like it's a matter of time. They have a wealth of great talent who are of color. New Japan, we'll see. We'll get there when we get there. But again, New Japan's just, everyone over there is of color for the most part. So we'll see what happens. But it's easy to pick on WWE because they're the biggest one, they're the easiest one, and they're the one with the most eyes on them.
Right.
So there's a bunch of great talent in the locker room that are of color. Shit, the Raw Tag Team Champions and the United States Champion are black.
Yeah.
Were they on the Rumble card? Lashley was. That was it. He didn't even defend his belt.
Big E was there.
Big E was there. Hell yeah.
He was eliminated. He was eliminated by. Oh Jesus.
Omos.
Yeah.
And
which we didn't talk about, but like that made me mad.
I did want to talk about it for a reason.
Yeah.
So there's a bunch of great talent of color. Use them properly, and don't make them caricatures of the culture they come from. That's a whole different thing. But don't do that either.
Don't.
Nick, before we wrap, is there anything that we missed?
Wow, this was a good episode. That was a good. I agree everything that you say with your high spot, but no, I think that we got everything. Dylan, if you've made it this far, thanks, buddy. But no, everybody who's watching right now, thank you so much for being here for yet another Wrestle Reel. We'll be back live soon. It's just going to take a little bit of time just because of scheduling, or maybe we move the show date. It all kind of just depends. But thank you so much for Mr. We usually have for Chris Anthony Lopez. The name speaks for its freaking self. And Mr. Go to Sleep, which I might do soon. Mr. Nick Volak. I say thank you so much for watching, and we hope that you all have a wonderful night. Keep watching wrestling and keep being excellent. I'm going to quote Bill and Ted. Just keep being excellent.
Excellent.
And thank you, everybody, for another Wrestle Reel.
Bye.
And that's the bottom line, 'cause